John Green once said, pain demands to be felt. But what about when your life is a series of agonizing experiences? What happens when you have been broken numerous times and today is just way worse than yesterday was? Today on Why I Did It, we tell the story of Danson Kamau Irungu. Popularly known as Daktari now, he made tough choices from the lemons life threw at him. But how did it all begin? How were you brought up?
We were brought up as two girls and 7 boys. We grew up in a rural environment. We were doing peasant work, and my dad used to work far in a far town in Limuru, so he could come in once in a month. So we were there with mom.
Okay, so what was the nature of
mom loved me so much, okay. And that's one, and dad loved me so much, and that one made my brother to be on my case. Even my sister, elder sister, they were on my case. I was bright in school, performing very well. I could receive all the gifts that they are lazy, all the love and compassion. And my grandparents, who I'm named after, like my shows, who I can remember all the time, used to call me my husband. He used to call me nice petty names, Moshoki, the pet name of my dad, my Wuka. And I felt I'm always like, if the sibling rivalry was happening, I was going to Shosho's praise in Mokangu, somewhere far, and I could receive all the love and compassion. So that was my preference.
Okay, so then you being loved by your parents is the reason your brother was envious?
Yeah, very envious.
So then you had a strange relationship with your brother?
Yeah, very, very strange, which also occasioned him to always harass me, always extend all his negative emotions to me. To date, today, if you want him to have gooseberries, tell him Kamau is good or can do something good. To date, even this is where I used to stay before I went to Joska. He could not let the wife and his children come see me here. Even him, he could not come. But me, when I have this place, at one time he had an accident. Him and his wife and children and the neighbors, they came here to this place. I nursed him myself until he got well because he had a head injury. And my dad got so sick. He came here. I took good care of him with my wife until he got well. Until when the Lord called him to rest, eternal rest. Okay. That is 2013.
So let us go back in time. Just describe where all this began.
All this began when I was so bright in school. He came and repeated in class 6. But because of those sibling rivalry, I hated childhood and childish things. So that ended up, I wanted to be mature and learn away from these kidding things. Yeah. So I circumcised myself, which was just childish. Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 11 years because I was born in 1971 and this happened in 1982. So I ended up now, because I didn't know how even to do it, I ended up injuring myself and I had to be lashed. Even after injuring myself, I continued to keep it to myself until I couldn't keep it anymore.
Because it was painful?
Yeah, it was. I couldn't go to school anymore. I disclosed it to my mom, who rushed me to Murang'a General Hospital. Here I also didn't know what was happening.
So what exactly pushed you to do that?
Because I hated childish things. I wanted to be mature and in a mature world and to be with mature people. Because these childish things...
But you are a child.
I was, but if childish was those same slavery, false accusations, these small pet fights.
Also because you used to be picked on a lot.
Oh yeah. So to me it was like, this is not, it can be better. Now, I ended up in Murang'a Hospital and I was done this reconstructive surgery. Then I went back and everybody believed that now I am a mature person and I'm circumcised and now. So I used even to go now out with the big, circumcised men and all this. Yeah? And it was a bit of a relief, yeah, because these small boys could not joke around with me.
So it was good that you felt more mature.
Yeah, and everybody took me for that. But now that gave my older brother, even more aggressive. He was more aggressive now towards his cause, such that in school now, because he repeated class 6 and we were to school together, so we were in the same class, which he didn't like. So sometimes he could go report, I have stolen some books, I have done all these manner of things, bad things which I could not even do, because since I was a mature person. But my performance in primary was so bad, and we were schooling together in class 7, class 6, class 7, class 8 in a primary school environment where teachers cared very less about us.
And for you people growing up, did you grow up like in a loving family
At first
with values?
It was first because we were people of means. We had some after, and Dad lost his job in 1983. He chose to come and be a shopkeeper in the neighborhood there. So we couldn't really say that we were struggling so much. And we had a big farm where we could do some crop farming, and there was some tree bushes. Now the problem is we had to have house helps and people who are living with us as employees, kind of, farm hands, and they could teach us some negative. They could also come with their bad behaviors and all this. They could teach us some things like smoking, taking alcohol. They could take us into that. But me, I was never recruited into that. I refused.
So if you grew up in a loving family.
Yeah, loving. My mom was loving, calling me dad, my daddy, and so good. When there was a trip to go to Mombasa from another school, she could pay for me. And that made my brother very mad. He was also looking for something to bring me down.
So that is where the animosity came from.
Yeah. And also I was so outgoing. I could dress nicely, talk nicely. People loved me. Even the guests, when we had a guest at home, I could be around to the table. We have a meal together, and that time is chapo ble. If a guest come, it was like me was the favorite in the family, and that made him very, very angry.
Okay, so you have grown up, and at the time when you now underwent, you did the self-circumcision.
Yeah,
so that one. Then you're 11. You healed.
Yeah, now we went to hospital. I healed. The community now was like I'm a mature person, and I was told what other people who are circumcised are told. And although I didn't pick it, they were told now you can move around with girls, big girls. You're a mature person now. You are an adult, but at 11, so you can imagine. So it was like now there was real circumcision now in 1985 after class 8. Now the bad thing with this is that we went to the same hospital for circumcision. Now the little one, actual one, and now that was 15 years. I was 14 going to 15. We were in the same room. Hakuna kusalimiana, hakuna kujuana hari, hakuna any social, no rapport, there was no chemistry until we healed. And now everyone was on his way. They don't deny knowing that now that is it's gonna be even worse. Because I failed miserably in the exam, KCPE, and then bad enough is that my dad consulted him on which school we should go. And he decided to teach a secondary school, a local secondary school there. So we were in the same class, we were in the same school, no greetings, no socialness, no nothing. So he was always scheming how I'll be called a thief, how I'll be, bad name, spoiled everything about me. He could narrate some instances, like he could hide something, only to go and tell my dad, Kamau went with a panga in home at school, he roasted it. Now me, since I didn't have any panga or anything, my dad could come bitterly. Where is the panga? Where is the panga? Dad, I don't have any panga. He could beat me up until I could urinate on myself, slaps, very, very bad slaps for somebody who's young. And then Now my brother would be happy. He would repeat that to everybody in school. He could be rejoiced about it. And when we want to share some joke, that was the joke.
And what was the relationship between you and your other siblings?
It could, because I don't fight. I don't badmouth them. I could not even say when they were bad. I was covering them. You know, even bad things, like even when your sister is like, he has some male friends coming around, I could just hide that. I could not expose it.
Okay, so let's talk about your experience in school.
It was that bad because now in class 6 is where now we were schooling with bigger people who had repeated, could not go to class 7. So they were heaped up, bigger girls, even circumcised boys. And you see now my brother, they were schoolmates. He could pick on them to embarrass me, to do bad things to me, to harass me throughout. He could relate, now I'm a thief, they should keep their things. And incidentally, if I went to a bag with a school with books, it would be stolen even from the plus the pencil plus the pen. If I went to with a pen in school, it will be grabbed to me by a bigger boy. When he has in the bureau, he come and grabs for me and will use it. If I tell a teacher, it turns the tables against me. I was accusing them badly, so I'm the one who is being punished.
So here you are a young man, and you have feelings of rejection. So both from your family and in school as well.
But I had no grudge or bitterness, because how I handled that is because of the positive vibes.
So, and how did these false accusations make you feel?
It is now. Now is when I feel it was unfair. At that time, I could not know what was happening. I could not tell, because these are incidences which are just happening, one after another, one after another. You are beaten for nothing. And since I didn't do it, and I've been beaten, so be it.
So did you get used to it?
Yeah, I used to go either to my auntie in distant Mulunga, or I go to my grandmother at Mokango. Most of the time I was with my cousin, named after me, because he couldn't treat me nicely and differently. But when I went home, there was my brother, he's the one who is calling shots there. So he could, hata nifanye kazi namna gani, whatever efforts, anything good I make, to him it will be watered down to something very negative. And it happens even to date. Now we are mature, we are over 50. Like me, I'll be turning 50 in April. He's 2 years ahead of me, so he's 50 something. But even today, we're not in good relationship. We're not in very good.
Okay, and so for your brother, then why do you think your parents were choosing to believe him over you?
Because he could lally, you see, he knew how to go and present it to them, and do it so with evidence. And now he's older, and sometimes he's the one who has done something bad, and he has the evidence that it's me who has done, and he could call now, just come and see what Kamau has done. Like now, if I can tell you an incident, is in a secondary school now. I was in Form 3. We were in the same school, and during holidays, he called the friends, his friends. He called his friends. Now, so that we can have some manual work in our plantation, small tea plantation. Little did I knew him. He has already arranged that I will be beaten. It's so badly. So after the day ended and we have done most of the farm work, just one big boy who is even bigger than me and stronger than me came, started beating me up. So it was a plan was chase me towards the river, the deep part where there is nowhere crossing, so that I drown. And so that happens, he made sure that he has broken my skull. Used a very big firewood prank. It hit me so hard. So I just immersed in the water. I was being drowned. My young brother, could not even believe that's happening to me. He went the speed of lightning, called my my mother who at home and my sister, they screamed. Now the whole village came, rescued me from the water, took me to the hospital where it was a walking distance. Where we went to a prison in Katara, there was a vehicle waiting for me there. My dad had organized. I was in a whole week in a hospital. Now because the schools were reopening, the dad was like, I have to go back. Sijapona, I had to go back to school. I was there at home. I could not understand what was happening. No good medication. My brain has not recovered. My skull has not healed. So I was born to go back to school. Now I could fall sick but when I go to daddy, it's like kama wanataka kukataa shule, kuacha shule. So it was like hata fare hosina ni bari. It was a referral hospital. I couldn't give me, but I was feeling bad.
And that plan. So you got to find out who orchestrated the plan?
Obviously, my brother, anaambia huyo, chapa huyu anatusubaka sana, just beat him up. And
so he was there.
But he said that, but today he denied. Yeah? He said he denies. But he knows it.
So then after the incident, what was your relationship like with him? Did it get worse?
Very worse, because now he's in denial that he's the one who authorized my beating. And since we were young, and that is some of these justice systems, please, if there are laws in Kenya, protect small children, because nothing was done to that boy. Nobody even questioned. It was like he's a hero. It was like a hero. Hey, you beat somebody, you are a hero. Yeah? You won. You are the one who carried the trophy. You are the one who carried the medal. But it was criminality, because that altered my life, because it interfered with my running, because I dropped out of school. I had a mental case. I had depression. My skull never healed. I had brain damage. So after some time, it was like I could not continue the schooling, because even those absence there. One day I was called to the headmaster's office. I was told, now because you've always been absent. Nobody asked me why I was absent, but I used to get a letter, homesick, that permit to go to the hospital all the time. I used to, but now I was taken to the headmaster because I've absconded from school. I couldn't understand. It was justice of the highest order, so I was chased for good. I couldn't understand, so I was there at home.
So at that time, with that head injury, what were you feeling at that time?
I was sick. But I was there at home. Mom could give me a lot of manual work and all this. Since nimekataa shule, now do farm work.
So do you feel like they did not understand that you were suffering?
No, they were never bothered. This is how teenagers were treated in 70s and 80s. Like something of very of bother. You are bothersome. And since there are so many boys, one of them dying is not a big deal.
Okay, and talking about just your head injury and how you were adjusting in school.
There was no good adjustment, because I was a mental patient. And my brain was damaged. So I could just look at you, and I'm hearing, I see, but I'm not interpreting anything. I was locked. There was mental lock. It was like I could not even comprehend.
So comprehension was difficult at that time.
Yeah. So, and this time round, I'm in school where the bail has been left by my brother and the village mates, because he had organized. So, and there were some teachers who had picked it up. Can you imagine? One of the teachers, especially class teacher, I was her uncle. But it had nothing to do with me. I could not even talk to him.
It's okay. Just proceed.
I could not do anything. I could not even go and tell her whatever was happening. But here I was in school, and now I have gone back, isn't it? Now, even before I was 1 week old in that school, I didn't know I was going from frying pan to the furnace itself, because one teacher called me through the head boy. I was told, Kamau, you are a thief. You are stolen some shoes. You had sneaked out of school. All the time, that new headmaster, it was like, Kamau has done this, Kamau has done this, which I was not even aware it has happened. And I was a mental patient.
All these false accusations.
Those false accusations, I really can't understand even to date. Now,
So you think, was it because
it was unfair.
the
to me.
world was against you?
Yeah, it was just, I can call it the devil's work, because it wanted to stress my destiny. Now, when this was happening, there was a report of a stolen shoe from the school, the dormitory. And I was told I took the shoes. And I couldn't understand, because my father used to work with butter shoes before he was sacked, because really he lost his job. He came, and my mother had a shop. That's why he even have a shop. Yeah, you see it. My mother had a shop on the other ridge, yeah, in a shopping center there. So when he could no longer do the job at Rimuru Butter, he came and did a butter there. So I was told, come on, you've stolen shoes. I couldn't understand, because my shoes were always stolen. I mean, but that could come on, because that library, I was losing my everything. Like one of my brother's friend, he came, he wanted to go for a football match. He forcibly removed my shoes, so that because they were rubber, they were strong canvas shoes, yeah, to go and pray. I never even gave me back, and that was it. I lost my shoes. I could not tell anyone.
So there's a lot of harassment.
That harassment. And now, that was before I dropped out of the school, yeah, because of the head energy. That unfairness. But let me come to the Form 4 now thing, because I've gone back from Karigo school, which I cannot even tell you, even an exercise book, what I wrote, because of the mental problem. I was in my uncle's, and I could not tell you what.
And couldn't you seek medical attention? Your
To
parents?
who is going
To your parents?
Who is gonna take you? You are faking it. To them, you are faking it. Your brother.
So they had trouble even trusting you.
Yeah, no, the trust issues was kaput. So they could buy it now that I was told I have stolen a shoe, yeah, in school, and I had sneaked, yeah. So there's this teacher here who was after my keys all the time, yeah, which I don't know. I really don't. I can't understand even to date. Now let me make it very short for you, so that I understand this incident of I have stolen a shoe and I'm a thief now, yeah, and I have a mental breakdown, yeah? So I'm not really comprehending. So even when I'm being asked questions, I really don't know, because I never stole the shoes in the first place, and that thing of stealing is not even me. It's me who always loses my things, and I'm always used to it, because even at home, if my mom bought me anything, my dad bought me anything, the big brother could just take it, and that was it. I lose it. If I try to report him, he will be coming and beating me up. So even after being circumcised and being bigger, he could come and beat me up. And it was like, me, I am not liking this. Okay, now, they accused me of stolen a shoe, and I had to be caned and be sent away from school. I went home. When I went home, it was like the self-esteem has gone. They have accused me. You know, it was like so bad. It was 1990, I can remember. Now, when I went home, there was revival. An apostle, J.M. Kideka, had gone there and started a revival. And it was home fellowships. So when I went home, it was like everybody is getting saved. So I went and gave my life to Jesus, one whole fellowship. And that was the best that I did in my life. Because today I don't know. Today I don't know. Because I was able now to keep all the grudge away. But little did I know, when I went to go back to school, now this was a perfect platform for my frustrations. Because I was saved now, I couldn't do anything. So it was like, somebody who is saved cannot do this. Somebody who is saved cannot do stuff. What. And they were doing all manner of things. Dignity was not there. But I thank God I was now staying with the CU guys, as opposed to the other small cars, guys who could talk about small things like misbehaving with girls. I'm not I'm in a company of the CU guys, and that shaped my destiny. And that taught me so many good things. That taught me brotherhood. But also with them, the trust also was like also it's a dented image. And also my mental capacity was so low because I was a patient who is not even being given medical attention. Until it was now, I was in my mind now thinking, man, somebody when you are sick, go to hospital for medication.
A man whose troubled childhood took a toll on his esteem and general well-being made a difficult decision to embrace faith and make the hardest decision, forgiveness. Why did he do it? Let's find out after the break. So let's talk about how now you got saved. After you got saved, so you still went back to school?
Yeah, I got saved, went back to school, and life was not bread and butter because there were still those people who felt like, do you know there are people now who hate people because they are saved.
And being saved, well, how did that change your life?
Take everything. No bitterness, embrace everyone, forgive, love, be kind to everyone, even those who persecute you, love them. It was like I was numb. Even if you did anything bad to you, I had the space to love you, to forgive you. I could not pick it. I would not even think about revenge. If you robbed me something, that was it. I just let you keep it. And people took advantage of that. But now in the salvation, you see, now that certain teacher could pick me from the class to go and do punishment for a crime that I don't even know how I committed it, even to date. That wasn't nice. So after nimetoka shule sasa, my mother was now at my case again. He doesn't want me to go home. Lakini there were those revivals all over me. I was like treading the church all the time. Busy. Now there was this fellowship which was happening every day in a church, Pentecostal church. Yeah? Now it was like in those fellowships we were asking questions. So our preacher was asked which is the right day for Sabbath, which the Bible says. He said it's Saturday. He said it was on Saturday. Now it was like, why don't we go on Saturday then? I was also asked about eating pork. He said the Bible prohibits, but we use steak because it is sweet. So that was like, I'm not satisfied with those answers. So at one time I was going preaching to everyone. I'd stop you, preach to you, tell you about salvation, and I got 21 people who got saved. I was that aggressive. Now when I was on my errand going, I met some guys who gave me a booklet. And they were asking about diet, they were talking about diet reform, about the Bible, they were talking about, and also remember there's a preacher there, the same preacher who was teaching us, he was saying the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel, we shall read them when we're in heaven. I could not understand whether they're in the Bible. So I met those guys, very smart, nicely dressed, calm, talking to you in a very raw tone, teaching you from the Bible books, like pages. You ask them, they got the Bible page, very laughing it until you are satisfied. And I was like, hey, I want to be like these guys. So they invited me for their crusade. I went preaching to people, but I given a paper and they were talking about Revelation, Daniel, and I could see they have written there will be health lessons. So I was interested with the health lessons to know what the health lessons were. So I found now they have mounted their speakers and microphones that they were at it. First lesson was health. Why should not take tea leaves? Why we should not talk beer? Why we should not smoke? Why we should not defile ourselves with bad foods and those prohibited meats and all this. So I was ready to listen to that. Why we should eat fruits and vegetables? I was ready to listen to that. So me, I changed from now going home to going to that crusade and spending they welcomed me there. They were very loving. And they were telling me that they teach from the Bible. Everything they do is from the Bible. And they don't add anything, neither do they subtract anything. them is his Bible and Bible alone. And I was telling him about the salvation, the book of Daniel and Revelation, and they were taught me prophecies there.
Okay.
Prophecy after prophecy after prophecy, and they could read the Bible and the history. I was very good in history. However much I had a mentor, whatever.
So and then we've not talked about now. How did you get to heal?
Now this is the healing. I'm talking about healing now.
Okay.
These people told me, if you take tea leaves, it's a narcotic. And with my mental condition, when I was taking tea leaves, I had hallucination. So I stopped. They were talking about sodas like Coke. I stopped. They were talking about too much sugar. I stopped. They were talking about diet reform, even overeating, eating fruits and vegetables. I liked that. Now, after the crusade is gone, I could find myself now going to the Seventh-day Adventist church because there was this. Then, because they loved me so much, because I was grass enough, there was a paper. They told me there's a correspondent course for health. Now, I filled that, so I could just write answers and send me a lesson. I had my first certificate within some time from them. It was health education. They taught me about herbal medicine in that. They taught me about health reform in that. So I started using those, and my mental capacity was coming back. Now after that, I had a small certificate to call my own. Let me tell you, because of the mess that I knew I had performed well, because of I was doing exam and punishment at the same time for a crime I never do, even to date. I don't know what I did. Now, but I understand there are people who persecute like it when they persecuted safety people. Now my hearing from my mentor came from fruits and vegetables. The diet, I changed my diet. My mother could not cook me for me any coffee or tea or any. But he was not also ready for me to go home. So what happens here? I had to look for a way out. So somebody invited me to a 7-day guy to Maragua. So he's gonna apprentice me about electricity and all this, because I could find him fixing machines there. He went there and dumped me, and at home I'm not welcome. So I was saved in a 7th day. Here, salvation could not let me do some things. And 7th day, they had the 10 commandments intact. You cannot go do anything else. So on Saturday, I could not do anything. It is church. I could not even find anywhere in my heart to do anything. Now I am in Maragua. I am dumped. My parents are not interested with me. So I was like, now I'm running nature there. But I thank God I cannot do some things. I cannot indulge in my eating more food. And I also had my health course.
Okay.
So
I want to know now how, after now you've gotten saved, so how you were able to work out your relationship, say with your parents, with your brother.
No bitterness, no revenge. Even if somebody abused me, I don't abuse back. Even if I go home, sometimes mom could not bring me food, I was okay. You know, we were taught against gluttonness by the health reform guys, overeating and all these. And
so the strained relationship that you had before with your family and with your brother and even people that you schooled with, so did you manage to go back and mend this relationship?
Because I'm not the one. I have not offended anybody. In fact, they were the one who offended me. So me, I was like, somebody mistreats me, we expect me to maybe to threaten him or maybe try to revenge, but the salvation cannot let me. Okay. So I was just like that. I used to go to church on Saturday there. They could teach me about the forms. They could teach me about good behaviors. But the same church, there were some also problems. Because I remember this accusation, which was so bad. Yeah, you know, they believe if you do something bad, you are not taking Holy Communion. I had prepared for the Holy Communion. There was a guy who was also like he was seeing me being favored so much by the church, and gave a false accusation. I was told not to take the Holy Communion. I couldn't understand, but I was used to bad things and harassment. I could not even threaten to quit the church or anything. Now it happens because of my correspondence skills. I saw an advertisement, the West London College were picking people. And it was an open thing, so they were not asking for certificates and qualifications. They wanted to treat people. So I applied, and I was admitted to West London College. It was like now, I beg money from people to go to West London College. So I started going, talking to people. I was so smart, good looking. So after that, I got myself a job in Githumu Business Institute. Now, because of coming from the University of Nairobi, they made me a principal. I was there heading teachers and students, and I was parents. Even the director, a Ugandan, who was there, and the owner of the building, a very senior person in Githumu, they loved me so much. Now, it happened. Now I've gotten my first job, and this guy had a shop, a big shop there in Githumu. He was a businessman. Now, me, I was in my shuguris, a teacher with so much and a small salary, of course, but I didn't mind because I really needed something for survival. So there was no phones. I was in my shuguri. I went to a shopping center known as Kangari. I found my mom and my aunt and my cousin, and they are coming to my place. So I told them to, because to finish something, let them be going to they will know where they will know. Well, I told them where to go. Okay. So they went to the college, and there they were, and then they came to spend at my place. So my man now knew the place. Now, me on Sundays I used to go to for evangelism outreaches, but I was in the seventh day now. Let me tell you, dear, this is very sad. Mom came and to that shop, and the guy was like, he was to be good to mom. Since I'm not there, I've gone to evangelize, and my mom could go back. In 1998, precisely, in 1998, 5,000 worth shopping, almost my whole salary, was not something. So he came, collected all the stuff he could, all my salary. She cutted that away. She was not even able to carry. Some of them had to be taken to without my knowledge. So I was coming from preaching. My mom has come, and there is a bill waiting for me. So that whole salary, and I'm newly employed. I did not get it.
Okay, so what is your relationship right now with your mom?
She loves me because I didn't keep having a grudge. I could not keep grudge, but I could not keep it, because that was demoralizing. If I would be working and then mom comes and cuts all, I don't get any salary, I have to survive. So, and he never even, I remember when I got the job, I went home to tell her. She could not even believe it. And she was like, this guy, I think he mental illness is getting him nowhere, because however much I was in the university, he never gave me even fare or even a cent. And you see, remember when I was gathering people so that they helped me having a disease letter to conduct a harabe, he said it's lies, and everybody believed her. And Dad said I should have a passport, which I brought to Daddy. He could not even be, and so I was like, now. So right now, you and your mom, how do you relate? Like very well. It is very well, and very so she sees you in a different way. But you see, the problem is, the scars are still there, because it's like the way he thought I'm gonna be a thief, a bad person, somebody who never make it in life. It became opposite of it.
So let's talk about the scars that you have from all the pain that you went through and rejection.
First of all, I would like to say this: these young boys you see, they have feelings. Please listen to a young person, a young boy out there. Whenever he's in pain, whatever it is bothering the person, give them an ear. Give them a shoulder to cry on. Give them a hearing. Whether they are accused of doing what, please, let's be reasonable with the people. Even when they are guilty, try to know why they are guilty about. Try to understand what drove this person to do this. Because if I were to revenge today, there are so many people today I would really even take to jail. Because one, I would take my brother, I would take the boy who beat me up and cost me a scar. I would take that teacher because it was a violation of my right to do an exam which I've paid for.
Yeah.
And to make me go and touch those but infected dump sites.
So you feel like it's time for people to listen more to young people?
Yeah, because those debacles were so many until I had to marry late because 2004 is when I got married, when everybody was married.
So because you were dealing with the scars that you had experienced when you were younger.
Everything about me had been a very big struggle. So here I have started now talking to people about herbal medicine, about plants, about fruits and vegetables and juices, about their health, about stopping narcotics, about minding about their health, about not harming themselves through bad eating habits. So that health reform, people welcomed it very much. And there were some publications that I had, fruits and vegetable juices, boga na matunda ni dawa, and I also had a book, Simple Home Remedies, in English. So from that, people loved me. People now were like, daktari. If you come with malaria, I knew what to give you. And I started a herbal clinic in Gara, Victory area. And this herbal, I met my wife during those seminars. And then
so through when you were now coming up with the herbal.
Yeah, the herbal stuff, and people were so supportive. They loved me. They showed me love. Now I was able to consume those fruits and vegetables, and I gotten back my whole health back.
Oh, so you healed even from the
head even the calcium with the body. I knew where to get calcium from cucumbers. I knew how to when I'm in pain, I knew ginger, what it can do. If I had some infection, I know which fruits and vegetables to go for, even herbs. And then now because of that, some herbalists show some interest in me, and they told me to care free. Now this is where we cover herbs. You get herbs from Masai land. They teach you the trees, how to harvest, how to do everything, and they lulled me to the traditional practitioners.
So that's how you got the title doctor.
Yes.
Now you're dealing with a lot of herbal.
Herbal and nutritional therapy, and then there was also now we call ourselves medical missionary. There was the training now officially from the Seventh-day Adventist. They were like teaching each pregnancy. They taught me medical missionary and in a detailed manner now, and they taught me how even to deal with crisis. They did me a lot of counseling. Okay. They taught me even to be a counselor, because a chaplain is also a counselor. So I cannot say that the pain really had its home in me. Yeah, those debacles. Okay. To them, it was because we were told what cannot kill you can only make you strong. So I emerged stronger. I emerged victorious. Today I can see somebody. Today, if you are sick, I know how it feels, because I have been sick without any medication, and even anyone to learn to. And I really understand how unfair world can be sometimes.
Okay, so and through that is now how you even got to be in ministry.
Yeah, ministry. So because
what exactly do you do right now?
I want to really preach to young people, especially because of my experience growing up.
So where are we right now?
Okay, Nancy, what you can see here, we're still constructing this historic building, and there are some rental houses and shops here. The shop is run by my wife. I rented it. We acquired it in 2005. After every battle is won, the Lord always crowns somebody with victory and the crown of glory. Because through patience, through submissive to God, through listening to God's word, through being a practical Christian, I have been able now to get something that I can call my own. Not a lot of it, because even the income I get from here, most of it I support people with it. It's not a lot, because some of them are also acquired through loans. They have some, and COVID also is here with us. But Nancy, I can tell you, what you've gotten through faith, through trust in God, through resilience, it will always, God will sustain it for you. These were 8 properties. There were 8 plots. Some of them were grabbed.
So this is your
This
shop
is
as
shop,
well.
yeah, it's shop. She just started it the other day.
Okay.
And I can't forget my garlics and my onions and my health reform.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't forget. So I want to bring out some of them here so that people can benefit from the health reform.
Yeah.
We start picking it. We're just starting here. It has been somewhere. There was a big clinic with all the amenities, but since COVID and all these charities and sometimes we're shifting, we now do it from person to person. We call ourselves medical missionaries. We visit people. Even right now, I have an order in town, and I'm trying to arrange after this how I drop the medications. So I'm here as a medical missionary. I'm here as a chaplain. I'm here as a pastor. I'm here as an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm here as a witness what faith can do for you. I am here championing that getting saved as a young age, it can sort your lost problems. Because right now, even if I go to prison today, I'll be going maybe because of those false accusations sometimes. You know, I can be bought with I can be I'll survive it. Yeah, I know the world is not fair at any good time.
Okay, so and what would you say you're most passionate about, given all the challenges that you've gone through?
Faith, trusting in God. It is so sweet to trust in Jesus. It is so sweet. It's so rewarding. If there is something that you can ever do in this life and give you results, it is trusting in the Lord Jesus Christ, giving your life into the Lord Jesus Christ. Denominations are here because of maybe some people's differences on their interest, but one thing starts out. What God, Lord Jesus Christ taught us: forgiveness, praying for people who persecute you, blessing them. If somebody snatches your tunic, give him even the inner one. That is true. Because you'd rather be repenting to the Lord on behalf of somebody's sin than being guilty and carrying the guilt of doing something.
Okay, and maybe now since you're passionate about family and you went through a lot in that setup. So what is your message to families today?
Families today, please listen to your young boys. Give them ears, give them opportunities. Even when you don't have money and it's them they want, give them to God. Just give them to God. Listen to them. Show compassion. Show concern. Be there for your children. Be there. Even if you cannot give the 100,000 shillings, see what that 5 or 1,000 or 500 can do to that person. Because me, I am born out of the 20 shillings people granted to me, the 10 shillings, the accommodation people gave to me. I was needy, really needy. I begged, my dear. I was housed in people's houses. They made me what I am. When my mom could not give me food, somebody else gave me food. When somebody else saw me, I am supposed to go into a dump site and dig a hole there, create another dump site. Somebody else came showing me they are doing unfair to you, come out. This is not the way to go. I'll help you. Even if they want to give me a punishment, I'll help you doing this. And he told me, no, come out. You have to forbear to the end of this. Okay. So today, whereas people are doing their KCSE, I know there is a boy out there who is on a punishment. So somebody else who has been done bad things. If you are there and listening to this, and if you never listen to this, just know that somebody went there and saw it and conquered. And today, the victory of glory in a simple way. Because I am not big, I'm not huge, I'm not known, I have no fame. Nobody will even know Kamau. Not even people, so not so many people will even pick me from the streets. But inside my ministry, in me, there are some golden virtues which the Lord has put in me. Yeah, I have no pride.
An encounter with the Lord made all the difference in the life of Daktari, and exposure to new natural health remedies has given him purpose. Now